I come from America's dairyland, and you damn right I'm going to fight for milk in our kids' schools. Mr. Speaker, my bipartisan amendment ensures that none of the funds made available by this bill will go towards funding a rule that will ban flavored milk like chocolate milk in schools. This would ensure that all types and flavors of milk are available to school children. We should not be funding rules that would limit our children's access to delicious and nutritious products like milk. I urge my colleagues to vote. Happy National Chocolate Milk Day.
Republican Representative Tiffany of Wisconsin is doing the work of the people. No, he's not working to prevent the government shutdown. I'm talking the real work of the real people. He's protecting children's rights to chocolate milk. Look, I really wanted something to laugh at today. There are a lot of really important things going on in the world and in the country that we could and probably should be talking about. There is the looming government shutdown. There's the Biden impeachment hearing that still has presented no evidence. There was the second presidential debate, which I didn't watch, but I heard was full of both zingers and nothing. And then, I don't know, there's like the economy. But you know what people aren't talking about enough is chocolate milk. I'm going to pull the curtain back a bit and tell you that there were a few different angles I could have taken with this story. There's the government inefficiency angle, which is always a good one, but an easy one. Why is he talking about this right now? Millions of Americans are about to get furloughed indefinitely, but then is there ever a good time for this kind of legislation or this kind of discussion? There will always be something more important and more pending than chocolate milk. Then there's the angle that if children need any kind of protections while they're at school, it's not from the lack of chocolate milk of all things. These kids are doing active shooter drills like that's normal, and it's not. Not to mention, studies suggest that the drills actually do more harm than good to the children. Go figure. With a 2020 report finding higher rates of stress, anxiety, and depression following active shooter drills in schools. Or maybe I could have talked about how much sugar is in chocolate milk and how it's probably one of the worst things we can be giving to children in schools in terms of not just their physical health, but also their energy levels and their ability to focus. Michael Gorin, a professor of pediatrics and children's health expert, found links between high sugar diets in kids and problems sleeping, learning, and managing emotions, as well as diabetes and fatty liver disease. Besides, consuming dairy isn't a great habit to be building in the first place. Most of us, 68% of adults, according to the National Institutes of Health, are lactose intolerant despite our cultural reluctance to stop eating cheese. And yeah, for a representative from Wisconsin, Americans not eating cheese or just not consuming dairy in general, in any form, does sound like a problem. So I guess you have to start them young. But you know all of that, and honestly, we all love that stuff growing up. Actually, I kind of didn't, but I recognize that I'm in the minority there. Either way, for a lot of us who grew up in the public school system, chocolate milk was a staple of childhood, whether or not it ever should have been. And I'll admit, dairy is hard to quit. It's not impossible, but I would say it's more difficult to quit than gluten or maybe even meat. Of course, I'm speaking from personal experience here, but dairy is in a lot of things that you don't think about until you're trying to quit it. If you don't believe me, just try to quit butter, just butter, and see how that goes. Again, it's not impossible, but you can't have pizza. Dairy is everywhere. Do you guys remember those Got Milk ads from the 90s? Big Dairy, in general, really had a chokehold on the 90s. We all thought we had to drink so much milk just to not get osteoporosis, but really, we could have just eaten some kale. There is way more calcium in kale than there is in milk. Now, I'm not suggesting that would be an easy sell to kids, kale over milk. I am, however, suggesting that whenever Congress people take up causes like this one, it's more about lobbying from interested parties and then marketing to an American populace so that someone, somewhere, including the congressman, can make some money. And I say marketing, but really that's putting it quite kindly. It's really propaganda. The whole Got Milk campaign, without being too dramatic, was a propaganda campaign launched against the American people. They even had fake scientific studies. That is propaganda. After World War I, the U.S. had all these dairy farms and all this dairy, but no one wanted the milk. So the dairy industry, in cahoots with the government, told everyone that dairy was a vital part of a healthy diet. Later, between the dairy industry and the government, they would funnel billions of dollars into promotional marketing campaigns like the celebrity-laden Got Milk ads, and they worked to get more dairy in restaurants and, yes, in schools. In fact, if you try to order a pizza from Domino's, they offer you extra cheese at no extra cost, which is weird. Dairy even had its own block on the now heavily debunked food pyramid. The USDA was in on it too. They're the ones who set health guidelines for Americans. In fact, they're the ones who adopted the food pyramid in the first place in 1992. Anyway, drink milk or don't. I'm not telling you what to do. I drink it, but in pretty limited quantities. I have a bit of it in my tea every day, but I'm not ever trying to drink a glass of it, ever. To the congressman from Wisconsin, good luck trying to save an industry that already needs government subsidies and bailouts just to exist. You're really doing the work. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on all the socials, and please check out my podcast, Modern Context. I've got a new episode for you out right now. Thanks.